Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about an issue that has been bothering some people and raising a lot of concern in the political space. It is the request by some groups in northern Nigeria known as Coalition of Northern Groups and Northern Elders Forum. These groups, which are one and the same group actually, because the coalition of northern groups morphed from the Northern Elders Forum. I think the coalition of northern group, the coalition of Northern Elders Forum is actually the creator of a coalition of northern groups that the Igbos should be allowed to go from Nigeria. They had made it a point and used it as a campaign issue. In fact, one of the things they keep on saying is that Igbo should not be allowed to produce president. They should be allowed to exit from Nigeria. And the coalition of Northern Group, they have even gone to court to demand the exit of Southeast from Nigeria. Now, these two groups, anytime they speak, Ohanaeze will be forced to make a statement. Recently, even the spokesperson of the president, Garba Shehu, had to remind them that they had no right to tell any group, any section of the country, to leave the country, But you realize the mischief in whatever they are doing when you begin to interrogate their real intentions. Because there's no sincerity in what they are doing, even though they are in court. They are just wasting their time. Because if they are really serious, that they want to make a way out or a pathway that any section of the country can secede from Nigeria, they know what to do. They ought to know what to do. If they don't know what to do, they ought to know what to do before they embark on their campaign. So I purposely make this video so that Ohanaeze should stop responding to them. And when I finish explaining the reason why they should not be taken serious and why Ohanaeze should not be responding to them, you will then understand where I'm coming from. But meanwhile, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to the channel, hit the subscription button, like this video, share the video, because when you subscribe to this channel, whenever we release any new video, you will be among the first to know. Now, they say they want Igbos to leave Nigeria. And they could not even give any coherent approach except by saying that they should leave. As if a country is like a market, like somebody's personal shop or personal business or premises where you can determine who comes and who goes. But if they are serious about Igbos leaving Nigeria or any section of Nigeria exiting, the first thing they ought to have done is to pursue their action through the National Assembly, where northern lawmakers are the majority. what are they supposed to do? They're supposed to make sure that in the amendment of the Constitution, that there is the rights of secession inside this amendment that have been ongoing for years now in Nigerian Constitution, so that it is enshrined in Nigerian Constitution that any part of the country that want to secede, this is the pathway to follow. Then they should return the rights to request for a referendum. Referendum ought to be in Nigeria's constitution. You see, nobody talked about it or is talking about it in the ongoing amendment of the 1999 constitution, because that is the only way to show that they are serious. Galvanize the northern lawmakers who are the majority, so that they can then galvanize the rest of the country. That amendment will be enshrined in the constitution, so that there will be referendum. Any section of the country that want to exit from Nigeria, there will be referendum. And the referendum is not new to Nigerian constitutions. In fact, if you look at the 1963 constitution, there was the right of referendum. In fact, it was through referendum that the Midwestern states was created in 1963. And if you look at Nigeria history, you find out that Midwestern state is actually the first and the only state that was democratically created in Nigeria. Because there was a referendum, it followed the due process, and Midwestern Nigeria was created. Because there was a lot of agitation of marginalization and all that in Western region. So it was from the Western region, they now carved out the Midwestern region. And it was done democratically by referendum. So referendum is not a new thing. So if they are serious, because even those who are agitating for Biafra or whatever, they keep on emphasizing referendum. So let there be referendum. Many African countries have referendum in their constitution. They also have the right of secession. But it doesn't mean that, that those countries have decided to divide or whatever. But having the right of secession, having a referendum in the constitution, ensures that nobody will claim ownership of the country. Because you know that if you begin to claim the ownership of the country, some other people can request to leave the country or to exit from the country. Because the constitution is already having a pathway to achieving that kind of arrangement. So the Northern Elders Forum and the coalition of Northern groups, instead of wasting their time and energy running around the courts, they should help the National Assembly, in which Northern members are the majority, overwhelming majority, so that they can effect that in the Constitution. It is a major amendment of the Constitution that have been overlooked for so long. Advocating for it doesn't mean you are advocating for the disintegration of Nigeria. It is just to ensure that nobody will claim dominance or ownership of Nigeria. Because when you claim ownership, then the Constitution will bring you in check, because those you want to dominate or you think they have no rights can invoke the right for referendum to be conducted so that they can exit from the country. That is what civilized societies does. And that is what I expect the Northern groups and the Northern Elders Forum to do. And if they are not ready to do it, Ohanaeze should stop responding to them because it's a waste of time and waste of energy. Then another thing they can also do, they can also invoke or apply the treatment that Malaysia gave to Singapore in 1965. So you can say that what I'm suggesting is that they should ask for the Southeast to be given this Singapore treatment. You see, the leader of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, he wanted to be in the same. He loved Malaysia. They are all part of the same country. Singapore, Malaysia, they are part of the same country. They were one country. They were one country, a kind of federation. But there was always tension, racial superiority. You know that Malaysia is predominantly an Islamic country, but the Singaporeans were not Muslims as such. So there was religious tension, there was ethnic tension, there was racial tension because there are also some of the Singaporeans, you have Chinese among them and all that. So when the Malaysians discovered, look, we can't be in the same country with these people. There's always tension among us. There's always crisis, racial crisis, and all that. In 1965, they passed a law. In fact, the Singaporeans were taken aback. They passed the law, a bill, that Singapore, should leave the country. If you read Lee Kuan Yew's book, From Third World to First World, you will see the analysis, how suddenly that decision came and the challenge it posed to Singapore. They were pushed out. It was as if two people were staying in a room and one of them said, you must leave this house today, and throw the other immense things out of the house onto the streets. So they passed a law in the parliament, and the law was signed by the king at that time, the prime minister, and everything. It was signed into law. If you go and look at the history of emergence of Singapore as a country, it was an act of parliament that led to Singapore's emergence as an independent country. It became an independent country in 1965 by an act of parliament, which was signed into law. So they can use their number, because the number has also been helping the northern Nigeria in so many ways. If you look at the number of delegates they have all over, they dominate most political parties. It's because of the creation of states, which northern military officers have been doing since right from go on. So most of these states were never created by due process. It was by military fiat. The ones by Gowon, the ones by Abacha, the ones by Babangida, they were all by military fiat. They were not as democratic as the creation of Midwestern states. So that's why they have majority in the National Assembly. So they can use that. They can apply, talk to their lawmakers, try to even, as Buhari is still in power, they can lobby Buhari, who is a fellow Northerner, to raise an executive bill that Southeast should exist from Nigeria. And when they say this thing, it makes me laugh because they have this impression that if the Igbos exist, other Nigerians will like. If Igbos exist from Nigeria, other Nigerians would like to share the same country with them. I used to say it, and I've written it elsewhere. This coalition of northern groups and Northern Elders Forum, who are making all these things, they should go and study the map of Nigeria as was drawn by Gideon Oka when he did his coup. Gideon Oka is not an Igbo. He's not from Southeast. He's from North Central Nigeria. In that coup, he drew a map. Many of these agitators, many of these people who are saying the Igbo should leave Nigeria, for them, they should go and see the place where their state is located inside the map drawn by Gideon Oka before they start talking about who lives and who stays in Nigeria. I think that will humble them. They should take a time and study the map of Nigeria as drawn by Gideon Oka. I think the Igbos have shown enough evidence that they love this Nigeria, they love this country. That's why you see many of them coming out to contest for the president of the country. Even though the numbers in terms of delegates is skewed against them, because these delegates numbers are also a creation of the skewed local government numbers and states in the country. If you look at Southeast, they have only 5 states, and they have the least numbers of local government in any zone in Nigeria today. So they are bound to face challenges in emerging as presidential candidates of some of the big parties in the country. And before I digress, what I'm saying is this. Ohanaeze should stop responding to Northern Elders Forum, Coalition of Northern Group, anytime they issue statements talking about that the Igbos should be allowed to go. You don't say that with a country is not a relationship between landlords and tenants. Somebody or a section living in the country, it's not a tea party. You can see how long it has taken Scotland. They have been struggling to exit from United Kingdom. So it follows a process. So if these people are serious, let them use the legal process first by ensuring that the right of referendum, the right of secession is enshrined in the Constitution, using their lawmakers that are the majority in the National Assembly to see if they can be able to pull it off. And if they pull it off, then they can now begin to say, okay, let us apply this law on so and so section of the country. Even at that section of the country must be ready for it. You don't impose referendum from outside. It is from within that the agitation comes from. So somebody from the north east cannot come and say that there should be referendum in the southeast so that they exist. No, it is the southeasterners that would demand for it, and the rest of the country will agree with them, and then a referendum will be done, and it will be conducted perhaps by a neutral body if it is about exit, by a neutral body like the United Nations. So it's infantile to tell the Igbo should go. You go around from one television station to another. Nigeria is bigger than relationship between landlord and tenants. We're talking about a country that is jointly owned, which the people of Southeast were even the key players in demanding for independence. It's because people don't know their history. They should go and find out those who antagonize the Europeans most, those who led the liberation of Nigeria, those who established newspapers and magazines to challenge the British rule in Nigeria. Those who their forefathers went on exile because of Nigeria. So people are ignorant of Nigeria's history. So, however, I keep on saying it, Ohanaeze should stop responding to this group. Let them keep on issuing their press statements and continue to entertain themselves. They ought to know the right thing to do. Ensure that there is referendum enshrined in Nigeria's constitution, the right of secession. The right of secession is in many other constitutions in Africa. Many countries in Africa, they have it. It has not led to their disintegration, but it helps to put the country in check. So these are the key two things that need to be in Nigeria's constitution, so that people can then take advantage of this right and challenge some things in the country. If they are not comfortable with Nigeria, any section that is not comfortable with Nigeria can invoke that right, and it will be put to test through the referendum. It's as simple as that. But not to go on television, go on radio station, call press conference. Igbo should leave the country. Igbo should be allowed to go. Igbo should be allowed to go. It's to me, it's infantile and unnecessary. And Ohanaeze should stop responding to them. Then I have also suggested they can also apply the Singapore treatment, the kind of treatment that Malaysia gave to Singapore, and force it to leave the country. And today, both countries are better for it. Singapore became a first world before Malaysia even. So that is just for historical purpose and for reference purpose. So people should stop this intimidation or trying to claim ownership of Nigeria more than any other person. Nigeria is a joint ownership established by the British. Nigeria is actually a British enterprise. It was set up as a business entity for the British. So let nobody claim any superiority or who can determine or claim that they can determine who stays and who leaves Nigeria. Already Nigeria is on the verge of collapse because of non-state actors who have usurped the power of force from the government and are controlling a lot of spaces all over the country that the government appears unable to challenge them enough. Because right now the country is in a state where Governments cannot retain authority in several parts of the country, especially northern part of the country. That is why there are communities now that pay tax to terrorists, to bandits. They pay to go to farm. They pay to harvest their crop. They pay to live in peace in their communities because those geographic entities have almost slipped away from the hands of Nigerian government. So that should even be of greater concern to the Northern Elders Forum, to the coalition of Northern Group that are going about issuing press statements, talking about who should exit from Nigeria and who should stay without following the due process. I believe that they know what to do, but they like to play to the gallery. And that is why I will advise Ohanaeze. It doesn't make any sense responding to them when they make this kind of uh, threats. It's just to ignore them until they got tired of issuing press statements, because that is not the due process of an exit of any section of any country in the world. They should know better. But some of them are professors in the Northern Elders Forum. In fact, one of their leaders, Angabulai, was a former vice chancellor of University of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. So they should know better. They should know better what to do if they are serious that any section of the country can be allowed to leave the country. They should follow the due process. They should make sure that it is enshrined in the Constitution. And they have the numbers to make it a reality at the National Assembly. Thank you for watching this. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Love like the video, share it widely, and hit the subscription button so that anytime we have any new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you.